Fellas, this lockdown's got us in all sorts. We need a location for the show.
Dale, I promised Joe I'll be home for 10. Where are we going?
Don't stress, I've got just a location. We're there soon. Good evening, welcome to Off the Bench, episode 5.
Oh, we're doing it, mate.
Gents, how was lockdown for you boys?
Yeah, it was alright. Yeah.
Only work around the house, mate.
Right, we had a venue all sorted for lockdown.
Yeah.
Mr. McGowan ready to host us, but hey,
Yeah.
he let us out to come tonight. So on tonight's show, guys, we've got an action-packed show tonight. We got 6 again. Our guest barman tonight is Sharks Hall of Famer and 3-time Worrell Women's Player of the Year, Heather Christie. Hi, Heather.
Welcome. Welcome.
Special guest I know tonight is former West Magpie, Hull FC and Allen International Shane McMenemy. He's got plenty to say tonight with us, hopefully. All the hot topics in the NRL and NRLWA. I hope you've got some tonight.
Oh, man.
There's always plenty going on. It's only a 7-day break. There's always lots happening in between. We've got the Beat the Ponds back. Raving success last week. Our production team, not a massive fan, but I like it. It's in. And as you can see, Pete's out, but Pete's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over Pete.
18th man.
18th man off the bench.
Yeah, again. Yeah.
To be fair, I rang every other man in Perth and no one was available.
I know. Yeah, so I've come from behind the camera to sit in front of the camera.
Right, you'll love it, mate.
Yeah, well,
This is the best place
it's
in
a
the
while
house.
ago, but yeah, no.
We all good?
I would say I've got a great face for radio. So.
Yeah,
I won't disagree with that.
I've got a great face for radio, but a terrible voice for radio. So I've stopped out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, let's hook straight in tonight. Local footy, NRLWA. So we're talking about the 18s comp. It's only a 14 comp.
Yes.
I've done your job this week, mate. Bit of stat man. I've been on the
Well,
phone.
I've done a bit of research.
So 4 teams: South Perth, North Beach, Fremantle and Rockingham. Numbers at this stage: South Perth not showing his register, but they got 14 at training. That's only after the coach got on the phone and said you either train or we're cutting the team. So they took last night for the first time. Beach, success story for me here. They got 19 registered, 17 confirmed to play.
That's awesome, yeah.
That's great. Fantastic for North Beach.
I think they're not new players though. They've shifted from Ellenbrook had a very good 17s team,
Yep.
and then Joondalup have had a previous 16. So I think those players have sort of
around.
moved around in that northern suburbs.
Hey, at least Beach
yeah.
got a team.
Oh,
At least they're staying in the comp. Or
Beach-
just they're playing, but yeah.
Beach on the side for years. I'm
Yeah.
really pleased they've got a team. It's good for them. They're 70th year, so them to be feeling 18s, third grade, reserve grade, women's,
they're
women's
on
type.
fire.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
fantastic for
yeah,
them. So
it's a big tick.
yeah,
Yeah.
really pleased
Yeah.
for North Beach. That's
Yeah.
great. Fremantle, they got 13 registered, but no one's been training yet. That's a red flag for them. They're a bit concerned about that.
Oh, a big
And
tick.
they're probably in the same boat as we are. Well,
Yeah.
like our registration list is as long as your arm.
Yes.
But there's only 8 or 10 training. And like I said before, of the rest of the registration list, I know some have gone to South Perth, some have gone out to Union. They only registered so they could play Dolphins.
Yeah.
They disappeared. So,
Yeah.
so it looks like we're going to get to week 1 with a comp. Will it survive? That's what I'm worried about.
Oh,
I'm worried. Yeah.
it's dangerous,
I think we're looking at these kids. A lot of the kids don't have a lot of loyalty. They'll play rep or the so-called rep footy, and I call it so-called rep footy, in those sort of late summer months because there's nothing else to play,
Yep.
and they want to play footy. But then when the union comp starts in March, a lot of those kids then switch back to play
Yeah,
union,
it's a lot stronger.
which is a lot stronger comp. You know, and so they're juggling around. They're playing what they want to play when they want to play it. There's no real allegiance to league in
No.
any sense.
No,
So we starting too late.
definitely.
Like
Definitely.
you said, they got
Yeah.
to play Union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're in May next week and we're not
Yeah.
starting. I know we had a lockdown last week to put us back by a week, but ultimately we're not starting
Can't do
until
much
Thursday
about
night.
it.
No,
But,
no.
yeah.
I know. Just with running the juniors at the Sharks, we've lost kids to AFL already because they've started. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a massive challenge. I believe rugby league season generally is March through to September.
Yeah.
Anything less than that is a bit of an amateur hour comp. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like I used to always say, like the Pilbara run a May to September comp because they can't sustain it
Yes.
all year round.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's a dry season as well.
yeah,
so
but
yeah.
we're not. We're supposed to be strong.
no,
So
No.
I think March is when we start, and then by the time we've got into sort of Easter, which is often a natural break because of school holidays and all those sorts of things. And then you've got the Anzac weekend at the end of April, which is another natural break.
Yep.
But at least the senior comps, the comps are up and running.
Yeah.
We've got something there
That's
rolling
right.
with clubs and everything else.
Yeah, well, the senior comp is what dangles the carrot for the 18s.
Yeah.
So, but I think the Friday night thing, it
Yeah.
wasn't good for the game. Wasn't good for the 18s. We've been through that process now. We've killed it off. We're
Friday
back on
nights,
Saturdays.
I think Friday nights work in somewhere like Queensland, where footy is the game.
It's the life.
and
Yeah.
it's the lifestyle, and everybody follows
Yeah.
it.
Pathway for it.
And it's a pathway.
Yeah.
That isn't here.
Not here.
That's
No,
not here.
no. I was a coach of the Rocky Sharks under 18s team. The work that we went in to
Yeah,
get
you
kids
were.
around
Yeah.
around Perth
It was bloody hard.
was
mate.
huge
Yeah.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's got a 3-year process to go through to fix the comp. Actually,
Yeah.
I think we really need to nurture the 14s, 15s, and 16s,
Yes.
the current players.
Yes.
Dangle those carrots and see if we can get them actually on show for everyone to see on Saturdays. You know, I'd even be. I really believe the 18s game, when you've got a skilled team there, is not far off first grade sort of quality. They're exciting games. We've had some or when I was coaching them, we had some absolute barnstorming games with Kalamunda. Like they went down to the wire.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
to play that as a curtain raiser first grade, I think would be really good for the kids. Have them hanging around watching first grade. First grade coaches might be thinking, "No, that kid's pretty good. Let's put him in the squad." It's good all round. So I think we've got a few years to fix it.
With a question I will ask you, though, it's something that we've been caught with in the last few years. So there's because of the skinny on numbers in the 18s, right?
Yep.
You must play 18s up before you play grade. Now, if you're good enough to play first grade, should we be holding them kids back just to fill numbers in the 18s?
No.
Or should we just let them play?
No.
You're good enough.
Like, I'll give you an example. Like Tyler Hunt 2 or 3 years ago, he worked Fridays, so he couldn't play Friday nights. But there was a big hoo-ha about him playing first grade Saturday, but he hadn't played Friday. He hadn't played Friday night. At that point, he was 17, one of the best players in the comp at 17.
Yeah.
And
He was the best player in the 18 Sharks
and we
team
want
too.
to push him back and make him play 18s just so we can fill the side.
Yeah.
No.
That's holding players back, surely. So that's something that needs to be fixed. If the kid's good enough, I understand.
Well,
falling to third
I'll
grade,
actually
third
go
grade.
back there. I remember one of the nights at South Perth there was Tyler was playing. He played half a game in the 18s.
Yeah.
He was playing first grade on the Saturday next day.
Yeah.
His two front teeth fell out.
That's right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right. Yeah,
And you had to get them fixed overnight.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's also that danger
Yeah,
too.
it's a risk.
And the 18s, they like to have a bit of biffo too. So there's always a bit of that too.
Yes.
Anzac scheduling, boys. Mate, the drums in Clubland have been beaten this week.
And what have
League
they been-
talk
what have
is.
they been saying?
Well, I'm going to tell you what they've been saying because I've been reading with keen eyes on this. So, this weekend it's fantastic. So I've said this the other week. We've brought Touch and Rugby League together. It's fantastic as a relationship. We're working together. But for the life of the fixture of the weekend is 10 a.m. Women's League Tag. They have been a part of our comp since 2003. They are Rugby League, rusted on Rugby League players. Okay? 11:10, City Kiwi under 18s. 11:10 in the morning, right? So this grade that's struggling, at the bottom of the day when no one's going to come watch it, no one's going to see it.
Yeah.
So there's no one going to be there.
No. Women's Touch is at 12:30. Women's Rugby League at 1:25, followed by Men's Touch at 2:45.
As a curtain raiser.
Curtain raiser to our main Anzac game.
No.
That's,
Come on,
it's not.
is it me? Am I the wrong?
No.
Is the whole of the Perth comp wrong? Because that's the feedback I've got on social media. Everyone's up in arms about it.
Yeah, I've seen the same
There's
posts
no-
and stuff like that.
You've
Yeah,
got to look after your own comp first.
yeah.
And
Well-
you know, pathways, your 18s and your women's.
We've got
You've got
problems there we've got to fix. So
Yeah.
Anyway, you're a former Women's League Tag player. You're a Hall of Fame player at the Sharks. You've won countless Player of the Year awards at the state level. Tell me, do you feel like the women's game is being let down?
I do, yeah. I've also played touch as well, so I'm sitting on both sides of the fence. But from a rugby league event, our women to be tackle, be tag, should be paramount. They should be at the top of the running list on the day, and more so with the 18s as well. As you said, they're the next players to be moving into first grade. They should be up there. And I know, playing league tag all these years, people don't come and support you when you're the first game up.
No.
I do see the relationship with the touch, obviously with the NRL relationship there, and all be at the start of the day, introduce, that's a good game to play in the off season, keep them all together. But
so you'd like to see all the touch games played
early
as
in
a
the
group
day.
earlier in the day, then
Yeah.
move on to the rugby league second half of the day. I like that
Definitely.
actually. Yeah.
And I also think people will come, if they're touch supporters, they may come and watch the touch and then move on. and then rugby league. Like I know playing myself, if Dale was playing, I'd be there all day. So I'm there. Yeah, I know, you never got the call up.
That wouldn't have happened.
but, you know, there are a lot of women who play in the league tag and their husbands, partners, children play in the main game. So you're basically asking them to be there from 9 o'clock, because they have to be there an hour before their game, to 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's an all-day thing, you know, and when you've got families, you know, it's a great day out, but you're just going to pick and choose what games you're going to go to. So,
no, I agree.
yeah,
agree.
I don't think that's all right.
I never grew up with touch. It's okay, but I consider it's a fun, fitnessy.
Yeah, well, Sean
of,
Johnson and Benji Marshall have come from touch, and
but,
that's what they brought to rugby league. But
you know, I'm probably going to be a bit biased, I suppose. But I just think, you know, it is traditionally our Anzac Day event.
Yeah.
So we should be showcasing our competition first.
Yeah. I'm all being inclusive is what it's all about today.
Yeah.
But I just think the scheduling, like, there's no issue with them ever being a part of the day.
No.
It's just the scheduling.
Yeah.
And obviously, people have spoken. Hopefully, the powers that be take note for future years, because people are not happy. And I'd hate us to lose people to our game, but we're already struggling.
yeah.
I'm being controversial.
You're not going to come to this show, mate. Comments on this show are not the comments on Rockingham Culture. That's why I always use that line, on the safe side. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. For me, though, again, the next thing about that is unless restrictions get lifted on Friday night, the game doesn't go ahead either.
Yeah,
so that makes me nervous as well. And like I said this week, I'm nervous for the food vendors, for Willagey Burrs, because they spend money on it. And if this gets canned on Saturday because there's no spectators, well, let's say there's a reduction in spectators, or you can only have 100 or 200. Anzac traditionally pulls across the day for 1,000 people. It's a big day.
Yeah.
So I hope that's not the case, because for me, my suggestion was don't play this weekend. I get the season, like the first grade comp can't start either if there's no crowds, so we can't make it. I get that.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 or 3 buys in the season.
Yeah,
throw it in there in June. But the Anzac game's got a real good place. It's one of our top games.
Yeah.
So you know what? Throw it in there and I'll let it play then. But it's this Saturday. Like I said last week, I wish the best luck to Willagey. I hope they do a great job.
Yeah.
Some good people there, and I hope it's a successful. Because I know last week getting cancelled would have been a nightmare for them.
Yes.
So really hope it's a success this weekend.
Yep.
So if you're about on Saturday, head down to Willagey.
We'll
if you want to see some rugby league, go there at 10 o'clock for the rugby league.
Yep.
You can have a rest between 2 and 3.
Go for your lunch.
And then come back for 4 o'clock for the main game. No, I don't mean that's me being facetious.
No, I know.
I want you to support all sports, but yeah, that's us. NRL. Oh, this one. There's 2 good ones this week.
Plenty to talk about here.
So, come out today that a paper's gone out to the commission today for 2 conferences. So, I mean, our local historian Rod Fielding, he got all excited. 2 conferences, 18 teams. So, extra 1 from Queensland, 1 more from Perth.
not going to happen.
No. So the proposal is 2 conferences. Conference 1 is all New South Wales teams.
Correct, yep.
Sydney
That's
teams.
9 teams.
Sorry, Sydney teams.
Sydney teams, 9 teams.
And Conference 2 is the expansion conference.
You know what the cool thing is about this?
Is there one?
There's 9 teams in the Sydney Conference. The Tigers will get to finish 9th again.
Still miss the finals. And Conference 2, this is where I think it's quite... I've seen it in 2 articles, so I might be wrong. They call it the expansion conference, right?
But there's a lot of those clubs in not
so you're telling me that Queensland teams are part of because they're not part of New South Wales expansion.
Yeah.
So they're going to have 1 more Queensland team and apparently 1 more team from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Now let's be honest.
To create rivalries.
Yeah, but New Zealand have got critical mass of numbers. I get that, and they've got some awesome players. But the Warriors can't win.
No.
The Warriors done nothing in 20 odd years. 1 grand final.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
So, fellas, this conference, how's it going to work? What are we thinking? I don't know.
The big man Wayne Bennett endorses it.
Oh, I'm on board then. If Wayne speaks,
your coach.
Well, the argument I think I've got is that then it's not a truly National Rugby League competition. It's still an Eastern States Rugby League competition. And, you know, when will the guys... I'm no fan of Peter V'landys. I just find him, I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way.
Controversial.
Yeah, maybe, but you know... But I just think, wake up and smell the coffee. AFL did this, 20 years ago? And went truly national? And I've now got a real strong national competition. It's the only national sporting competition in the country.
Dig your heels
much as I hate to say it.
No,
but, you know, and it's like, no, if you want a national rugby league, then think about a national competition. And a team in Perth with a kick-off time that fits into a TV schedule of 9, 10 o'clock at night in the eastern states, for me, that's a commercial winner. You know?
But
and it's also
imagine
creating national
what
and pathways.
the import factor for Perth could be. We could get some awesome players out of the UK instead of them going to the US.
Mate, I'll give you a tip, right? It's on a totally different level. We brought the Reds back in 2008, right, to play Jim Beam Cup, which is 3rd grade, right? The comp here went through the roof overnight because the amount of players that come from Sydney to Perth to find a way into that Jim Beam Cup comp, every team was stronger. Like, everybody. You know what I mean? Cause, and there's a legacy left behind. When the Reds folded, sadly, players stayed. So your Matty Doegs, your Delane Edwardses, they stayed in Perth. Right? And they were champion footballers for the local clubs. So it works. It'll grow the comp. There's an old saying. They always say start at the bottom, work your way up. NRL, you start at the top, you plant the seed at the top, and the rest filters down.
Melbourne worked, although it's been funded by News Limited for many, many years, for sure.
You know, but no one's made no bones that though. If Perth come in, there's a cost that comes to that for a number of years.
Someone will foot that bill.
Someone will find a way.
But you know,
Mate, Twiggy Forest is throwing millions at some stupid union comp. It's some tin pot comp that no one's. You know, no one watches it. Gareth Edwards, this is one for you. No one watches it, mate.
But haven't there been financial backers in place since 2012 allegedly to help fund the Perth competition? I was listening to the local radio station tonight, driving here, and the commentator was pretty scathing. He said, the state government's just put over $3 million of taxpayer money into the state of origin next year, and he said, what are the NRL doing? They're just sucking it out and going back east. He said if that's the case, then the state government should, and this is his opinion, the state government should stop the funding because it's the wrong way around.
The problem is, and I agree with you, but the problem is the NRL don't occur because if the WA government doesn't pay, then
somebody else
Australia will pay. Then Victoria.
They've got a winning
so someone will always pay. They've got the best product, and this is the big. We're sitting here having a whinge. It's the best product in the world, and the state government will pay for it. That's what it is, ultimately.
We do nothing off the back of that, do we? Off the back of the game coming in.
There's no long-term legacy.
So we need proper pathways for kids in this state, and as much as they may think not, Origin is not a pathway for kids. You need, as we saw last year when we had SG Ball and I think the Victorian, the Thunderbolts, I think it was SG Ball team come over, and their pathways through Melbourne Storm, they were 10, 20 times better than what we had because they've got proper pathways for those kids to follow through. And that's the bit that's missing here.
Well, we can talk about this for hours.
A lot of factors, though, and I think we'll come back to that another week about the structures, because there's a lot of factors in Melbourne Storm. Like they've got the education department, they've bought into what they're trying to do, because the government have poured money into it. They've got real academies. Our academies aren't it. We've got Rockingham High School who try their very best, with no funding, no real support. You know what I mean? So we've got dotted them around, but that's another, we've not got 3 hours.
Another day.
Halves off contract.
Plenty of them.
There's 19 halves off contract end of this season.
And there's a few more that are going to be pushed out, a bit like Scotty Drinkwater at Cowboys.
And you've got like Johnson, Lachlan Lewis, Anthony Milford, Adam Reynolds, Ash Taylor, Sam Walker and Sam Williams. That's just the name. They're obviously the stars, and then there's a lot of peripheral players around that.
So the big name today, of course, is that Adam Reynolds, Cronulla.
2.4 million.
Yeah. So will he go for the money as a career-ending little payday?
Of course he will.
Because he's not going to Cronulla to win a premiership. Because Cronulla won't win a premiership.
No, but
even with Craig Fitzgibbon there, they're not going to in his time anyway. Maybe 4 or 5 years. Because that's how long it'll take to build.
Reynolds he's got a winner's ring on his finger already. He's done that. I think he's 30. It's his last payday.
So
he wanted the payday from South. South's obviously got another plan for him.
They must have another plan. So who are they going to replace him with? If we're talking about all these halves off contract,
there's a cheap half there. Killing it at the moment, isn't he? He's 36 years old, the oldest player in the game.
So there's talk of Benji playing signing for another year, and that'll buy him 12
months.
That
makes sense.
There's always that. Well, there's a year too long.
Play for 50 bucks at a meat pie.
He's fit and he's doing really well, but mate, 19. Like, who manages these rosters? Imagine, like, we talk about the issue of managing rosters. 19 hours off contract, and Pete Pistol comes up with it. A lot of them aren't even that good.
No. Are they worth the money that they're getting
paid? They're
paid?
just doing a cycle that's going round club to club, club to club, club to club.
But they're sucking up salary cap space too, aren't they? Huge amount of salary.
Marquis in there, that's what they are. Like Sean Johnson, like the same where they end up. Obviously, for
Broncos, they're talking.
Well, Broncos did.
You could do with him.
Well, Broncos could do with a half, whether it's Sean Johnson or I don't know. But yeah.
Broncos were the football team, they're not half. There's that somewhere. The Broncos like the ponies, the Shetlands.
But North Queensland are recruiting. You know, they're spending some money recruiting.
Well, Townsend's gone on.
They'll be a better team.
Townsend and Dearden, so.
But he wasn't even off contract this year, Townsend. So that's 20 you can't move him.
Well, I mentioned Scotty Drinkwater too. He's pushed out.
Yeah, he's off. Yeah, that's it. He's on the way.
He's pushed out. Valentine Holmes at fullback and Dearden and.
Super League, mate.
Super League. I'd like to see him stay in the NRL.
Well, Super just signed a new contract with Sky Sports today. 2 meat pies, a can of Coke. Every player gets free subscription. They're in.
I think it's a subscription thing that will get him in.
Yeah, mate, it is. All right. Our favourite part of the week. This is where I sit back and say nothing. 6 again this week, Heather Christie. Brett?
I know, 6 again. Heather Christie, thanks for joining us for probably one of the most skirmishes parts of the night. What NRL team do you support?
Brisbane Broncos.
And what do you think of their performance over the last 18 months?
No comment.
No comment? No. We'll move on to question number 2. Who's your favourite rugby league player and why?
Oh, please. I loved watching Billy Slater.
Billy? Yeah?
Yeah, no, I did.
You enjoyed watching him?
Yeah.
Which NRL team do you hate the most?
Oh, that's a tricky one. It's got to be Manly.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be Manly.
No one likes the budget.
Raymond, I'm sorry. Question number 4. Who's the biggest grub you've come across playing footy in WA?
God, I'm married to him. He was so dirty. It was, yeah. I'll let him tell the tale of how dirty he was on the field. Yeah.
First and last time you come on this show.
He was, yeah.
Oh, that's a good answer, actually. Question number 5. Who at the Sharks thinks they're a bit of all right?
Oh, jeez. There's a few, to be honest. Yeah.
Plenty to choose from.
Yeah, plenty. Well, I've seen old Dicko in a skirt and heels, so I'll have to say Jamie Dixon.
Jamie Dixon.
Yeah, Jamie Dixon.
The old bar of chocolate, eh? Hey!
What was he at the seniors wind-up?
Freddie Mercury.
It was Freddie Mercury, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was
He wasn't
Ginger
sure what he was.
Spice a few weeks ago.
Was he?
Yeah.
Had the full heels going on.
Oh, so that's 2 votes for Jamie now, so 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
Righto, we move on to question number 6.
I'm shitting myself.
What would you rather? Buy and wear all used underwear, or buy and use all used toothbrushes?
Ooh.
Good answer it.
I'd probably just go commando.
You can't sit on the fence. Good answer it.
I'm not getting an invite. It's gonna be.
He's got bright red.
Oh, I don't know. I've got underwear because I can turn them inside out.
Oh, good answer. Heather Christie, thanks for joining us on 6 again.
Thank you.
Never the tour again. Oh. Next up, introduced today, special guest, Shane McMenemy, 239 appearances in Australia and the UK, Western Suburbs, Oldham, Halifax, over 102 performances for Hull FC and the WA Reds, 10 caps for Ireland, played in the World Cup, also a Challenge Cup winner in 2005 with Hull. They saw off Leeds in a 25-24 game, Super League Grand Final up to St Helens in 2006. This guy's played a fair bit of football. Great on your show, Shane. How you going, mate?
Yeah, good, thank you, mate. How are you, Dale?
Yeah, mate, how's retirement treating you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. We've been retired a fair while now, mate. So it's football seems a distant memory these days, mate. I've got four young kids and been working in operations and sales for the last 10 or 12 years, so that keeps me busy.
Well, mate, we're going to bring you kicking and screaming back into football life, all right, mate, over the next 5 minutes. We've got a journey around memory lane.
No problem, bud.
What you got, boys? What you got?
Righto, Shane, thanks for joining us tonight. My name's Brett.
How are you, Brett?
Not too bad, mate. Hey, Dale's just outlined your whole career there, and I'm just really keen on what part of your career you enjoyed the most.
Well, mate, I'll tell you what, it was an adventure. I experienced some ups and downs, like getting some wooden spoons with the Magpies in the late 90s with the late great Tom Rodonigas.
How'd you find him?
And then obviously, the Challenge Cup and playing at Old Trafford in the Super League Grand Final was a couple of highlights there. But, mate, to be honest, I just enjoyed the whole journey, mate. I was a young kid that loved footy, and we always had an ambition to make a career out of it. And one day, I was fortunate enough for that to happen. So, mate, it's hard to go past those big wins, mate. Playing at the Millennium and winning the Challenge Cup, that was obviously the highlights of that. But the whole journey, mate, the people you meet along the way, and the events you go through, mate, it's hard not to appreciate and see how lucky you are, to be honest.
No, it's a fairly common answer. The whole journey is something that everyone seems to enjoy, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's and as I said, mate, you have your ups and downs and things like that, but that's kind of what
builds you
makes
as a
it
player.
in the end. And when you look back and reflect on it, mate, you realise how lucky you are. Especially, I used to get told a hell of a lot that make the most of it, because before you know it, it'll be over. And I haven't played for probably 12 or 13 years now, and it seems that was probably the extent of the whole time I did play. So
yeah, okay. Well, that brings me into my next question. From the era you played to the current era right now, what do you think of the current era compared to your era?
Oh, mate, it's different generations, isn't it? They've been obviously trained up in different ways, a lot more professional now with the support staff and everything else that they get, the sports science and everything else. That's behind it. I've been lucky enough to get down to West Tigers there a few times and see their setups and what's involved, and all the video clips and everything else that goes with it these days. They don't miss much, and all that kind of stuff, the GPSs and everything else that goes with it. It would have been interesting to know, where you got to if you had all that support and that when you were playing.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. Yeah.
It's kind of horses for courses things, mate. It's the game's obviously played different now to what it used to be, and things like that. But I think the way the game's evolved, everyone has their different views on it, mate, for good or for bad. But I just like to sit back now as a spectator, mate, and just enjoying those good close games. To be honest.
Like us all. Pete.
Hey, g'day, Shane's Pete. On the other side of off the bench, you can tell by my accent, so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions back in Pommyland.
No worries.
What was it like living and playing in Hull?
Mate, living and playing in Hull, I absolutely loved it, to be honest. Like, I played a year in Oldham and a couple of years in Halifax, and Halifax weren't going too good, and Hull come in for me at the time, and there was a few Aussies there, Jason Smith and Richie Barnett and Craig Granny on the like, and I remember Jason Smith put in a good word for me for Sean McRae, who was coaching at the time, and mate, a lot of people said to me, Hull was, I think he got voted the worst city in England at the time. That's crazy going.
Don't tell Phil.
But to be honest, I had an absolute ball. My first son, Callum, was born in Hull in 2006, and I spent 4 or 5 years there, mate. Absolutely loved every minute of it. They're great people and very passionate supporters, and obviously when you have success and things like that, mate, it makes it even more enjoyable. And
being coached in Sean McRae, he was a character.
Bomber, yeah, he was, mate.
Bomber,
he was great, mate. He had his ways and his methods, and mate, I was grateful that he gave me the opportunity to get there. And then we had Johnny Keir, who took us, and we won the Challenge Cup. It was a bit sad, mate. They tapped him on the shoulder after about 5 or 6 games into the next season, and Peter Sharp come in, and we had a good run under Pete. We won 13, 14 in a row there to get through to Old Trafford, and it was a good run. That was probably, to be honest, thinking back, mate, that was probably, that period leading to Old Trafford was probably the most enjoyable. It was just one of those periods where, mate, you just didn't, you didn't know how to lose. It was one of those things you just found a way to win with the side we had. I think Richie Horn at the time scored 11 or 12 games in a row and set some records and all that over there as well. So it was some enjoyable times, mate.
I was going to ask you about the Challenge Cup. I've been lucky enough to work for the RFL and worked at Challenge Cup finals as an official. But just talk us through what it's like as a player.
Oh, mate, I get goosebumps now just thinking about it. I remember we got there the day before. We did a walk around the Millennium, and it's an empty stadium. You do a bit of a ball work session, and then when you come back the next day and it's full, and all the noise and the atmosphere and everything else that goes with it, it's just. I think Catherine Jenkins, by memory, sang the national anthem, and you had the rollies and whoever was there. You get introduced before the game. It was just, to be honest, it feels just feels like one of those vivid or one of those wild dreams that you come up with. I've never actually watched the game back. I need to sit down and do that before I get too old.
And a big party afterwards, no doubt.
My mind a bit, but mate, it's fantastic. The atmosphere and the noise and everything else out there was absolutely sensational. I remember when we played at Old Trafford. Actually, we're warming up, and the noise down the stretch end, I think it's called, was that loud. You're standing 2 or 3 metres away from your players warming up. You couldn't even hear them talk and things like that. That was a sensational atmosphere. We
all talk about how good the NRL is in Australian Rugby League on the field, but I think you can't beat some of the British crowds for the atmospheres at those games, can you?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's funny. I had this conversation with a customer yesterday. He's from England, and he mentioned the crowds and things like that. And I said, mate, you can get 8,000-10,000 people over there, and it feels like you got 50. Here you can get 30,000, and it's I can hear a pin drop sometimes, But ANZ Stadium's a bit like that when there's only 12 or 14,000 people there, and it's an 80,000-90,000 seat stadium. It feels like it's empty. So, but just all the singing and chanting and the way they support you, mate. As long as you get over there and had a go and show that you're there for the right reasons, mate. They really got behind you, which is great.
Mate, I think, like, from your point of view, mate, it's like a real success story over there, though, because obviously you went down there and obviously Oldham were one of the unfashionable clubs, and so Halifax, and then to end up at Hull at the time, and even today, are one of the fashionable clubs in Super League now. Obviously, they always got a good roster, and they always do well recruitment-wise. To end up in one of those, that top end of Super League and winning the Challenge Cup, making a grand final, it's going to be a thing that dreams are made of for like an Aussie bloke going over there. Like I say, I think we were at Rochdale originally, and then end up at Oldham, and I know you won Player of the Year at Oldham in the Northern Four Premiership, and you made your way through into that Hull side. Yeah. Well, obviously, it must be like things that dreams are made of, like getting to that level and being there week in, week out, and being one of the stars of the show in the end.
No, mate, yeah, it was. To be honest, I only went over there because Western merged with Balmain at the time, the former West Tigers, as we know it today, and I had a contract offer to stay and be part of it, but it was reduced terms. They were trying to fit 2 teams into one and all that. I was only a young bloke, and I got the opportunity to go to Rochdale at the time, and with Dane Doherty, and the reason I went over was I wanted to travel Europe and see a bit of the world, and then I was supposed to come back now to the Cowboys, and to be honest, one thing just led to another, and I got the opportunity to go to Oldham, and Denny Sculthorpe, a good mate of mine, best man at my wedding, and his family took me in, and got a bit homesick at the start there, and they really looked after me and treated me as one of their own, and that was great. Then I met Alison, my wife, over there, and things like that. So that kind of, you establish a bit of a life and put some roots down, and yeah, it was really good to get some success. I wasn't planning on staying up. I was planning on going for 1 year and coming back.
All those stories are like that.
They all say that. They go for 1 year and come back.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm going to wrap up with a going for you. I wanted to try and put a demon to bed for me, mate. There was one night in, we're on a tour with yourself with an NRL trophy. Now I want you to exercise a demon for me. There's a guy that night, and you can name him, I don't mind. He was flaunting this trophy in a pub in Meriden one night, and he was bouncing on his head, and it dropped on the floor. Who was that guy who dropped it? Because I tell you what, no one's owned up to it since. And I have a good idea who it is.
Can I say his initials? Is it CD?
You're spot on. That's Chris Dever. Spot on, mate. Well done. Perfect. Mate, that was a trip and a half, wasn't it? What a trip that was.
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what. I've never had so much free beer in my life, I think, with that trophy. We had that trip. That was absolutely sensational out to Kalgoorlie. It was one of the better ones. It seemed like we're driving for days on some of those roads out in the outback there, but it was fantastic getting out of those places, mate, seeing all the, all those kids that probably don't get the opportunity to see things like that, but, have that little bit of impact in their lives and things like that, mate. That was a great trip from what I remember of it, Dale.
Yeah, mate. I didn't drive too often because I couldn't, so it's all good. Mate, thanks for your time, mate. Really appreciate you coming off the bench tonight, mate. We're trying to build this show more and more we go, so mate, you're forming a long line of Challenge Cup final winners, mate. We're in show 5. Yeah. We've had 4 Challenge Cup final winners on the show so far, so there's certainly a thing happening here, I think. But mate, thanks for your time, mate. Much appreciated, and all the best.
No worries, boys. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Ho 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 ho!
in what was a roaring success last week. Beat the Pommies back for another run in week 2. Get on board this week. The barman will take on, off the bench, Peter Rowe. Get amongst it, guys.
Oh, he's left-handed. Oh.
Thank goodness.
You're laughing, Heather, but you're next.
What did you get, Pete? 6.
6.
Ooh.
Beat me already.
Oh, shit.
I have as well. Ooh.
Hey!
Reece Potter, you're watching. Much better than you last week, Potter.
Oh shit.
Right up, we're cracking on tonight, guys. We're getting through. This is our favourite segment. We're slowly building our team. I say it every week.
Favourite? My segment's the favourite.
Oh, yeah, your favourite. It's good.
It's good.
We're running out of barman though. No one wants to do it because you're alienating them.
They're all running away.
That Brett Millie's a nice guy for the juniors. No, he's not. Okay, pick our halves this week.
Ooh.
Top halves. Your top 3. Always can take lots of halves to choose from.
Oh,
Huge
yeah.
amount.
I put a lot of time into this.
Have you?
Yeah, about 3 minutes ago. Lots of time. I've no doubt you've done some
I've
research.
done my research, yeah.
I've no
He
doubt
would
you
have done. Statsman.
Yeah,
Yep.
Statman John.
That man.
You can go first. I know that you've done some good research.
Righto, okay, I'll go first. Top 3 halfbacks, enjoyable one to actually look up this week. But my first one growing up was Gary Freeman.
Yeah.
For the Balmain
Wiz?
Knight, the Wiz.
He was good, yeah.
The Wiz, yeah.
Tigers.
Known as a pest as well.
Yeah.
So he's
He
a
was.
damn good footy player. Such a skillful fullback and a player that just stays with you in your mind, you know what I mean? I just never forgot him. Instrumental in taking Balmain to the 88 and 89 grand finals that a lot of people won't even revisit. Went on to play his career out with the Roosters and played 46 tests for New Zealand and won the Dally M medal in 1992. So
Remember Steve Hampson cleaning Gary Freeman out in the test match? Fullback got sent off,
Yeah.
cleaned him right up, snooze time.
yeah, but really good player. So my number 2, Scotty Prince. I really enjoyed
Nice,
Scotty
Scotty
Prince.
Prince.
Yeah.
Obviously been a Tigers supporter. It was in the heyday of what we were doing back then. He started his career with 2 broken legs in his first 20 games. So
Lachlan Christie.
he arrived at the Tigers in 2004 and settled in with a like-minded spine. So they're all creative and basically did what they did in 2005 with basically a team of reserve grade is what everyone thought. So I'll never forget his show and go and his ability to actually roll the football out on the end of his fingertips and then bring it back in and then step sideways and straight through a gap and score. Just an enjoyable player to watch, and went on to be the inaugural captain for Gold Coast Titans
That's right, yep.
and halfback.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
no, I really enjoyed Scotty Prince. My number 3 has to be Cooper Cronk. I thought just an out-and-out footy player, just an absolute footy brain. I enjoy actually his commentary in the Fox League channel nowadays as well, but just the biggest thing that stood out for me was actually playing the grand final for the Roosters with a broken shoulder. The ability to actually...
Did he play?
He played.
Did he touch the ball the whole
No,
time?
he didn't touch the ball, but he was so instrumental in that game. He was so instrumental in that game.
Yeah, that was-
He managed to fool them, and it was just one of the biggest fools I've seen. And to be starting off at Melbourne basically as an outside back, I think he started out, and Matty Johns actually taught him how to be a half. So credit to Matty Johns, he turned out to be one of the best. That's my 3.
Okay.
Sweet. Heather Christie, Queensland, what you got?
Alright, my number 1 was Alfie Langer. Alan Langer. Remember, see, I'm a lot younger than you guys, so my players will probably be a
Don't
lot
know
more
about
modern.
He's only 28, he's had a big paper out. That's all.
But no, I used to watch him, obviously late 90s into the 2000s, Broncos, Queensland, Australia, so...
I think he's still playing for the Broncos, isn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
He's on the
and
field
the
more than some of the players, yeah.
You met Alpha Lang, aren't you?
Met him a couple of times, actually. We met him in the UK. He wouldn't answer to Alfie. The minute I called him Alan, he turned around and had a photo
really?
and had a chat, yeah. And then met him at NIB Stadium, a few
His
years
nickname
ago.
was Debs, wasn't it?
Not
Because,
sure.
well,
This will be good.
the King and I,
Wally.
Yes. The King and I, obviously the movie.
Yeah.
And the actress in the movie was Debbie Reynolds. So the
Yeah.
players nicknamed him Debs.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep, so that's my number one. Number two, ooh, bit of blue, but I'm not, Joey Johns. Yeah, I actually really liked watching Joey Johns in the 2000s, obviously Newcastle Knights. Obviously wore blue, wasn't too keen on that. Went off him the other year when we met him the State of Origin and we had a meet and greet, and he was just a little bit off, to be honest.
Off
and,
what?
Yeah, well, I think that was the problem. He was off a lot.
He's had an afterlife, hasn't he?
Oh, jeez, yeah, let's not talk about that. But
He was a
no,
magician,
just-
though. He
yeah,
was
on the field,
incredible
can't
player.
fault him. But yeah, he was a little bit,
Yeah.
I sort of see a different side to him.
Sure.
I don't know, but yeah, that was my number two, and number three, the laugher himself, JT, Jonathan Thurston. Yeah, he's done everything really, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So started off at the Bulldogs, onto the Cowboys till 2018. Indigenous All-Stars, Queenslander, Queensland, Australia. And I was actually, when I was having a read about him, had a look at what he's doing now, and he's the JT Academy and getting kids into employment and things like that. So if you haven't read about that or know anything about that, have a look it up. But yeah, he's doing really good things with that. So
It's
yeah,
really good, it's
JT.
pretty good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Nick, three of mine.
Oh, me?
I'll go next, shall I?
Oh, okay.
Well,
Go.
Fire up, where you going?
Having been late off the bench, I sort of tricky scrabble around on Google.
You've
and
had 2 weeks
put
to organise
numbers.
this.
I'd go with Jonathan Thurston for one of mine as well, and it's the 2015 Grand Final. What's it in a bar in Bali?
Yeah.
What an amazing game! You know, and the bar it was an Aussie bar in Seminyak. It was just packed full of people.
I was in Shark Bay for that Grand Final. I remember
the
that
atmosphere, the kick, and everything else was just like, well, this is what footy's all about.
I was in Shark Bay and I watched.
If you weren't a footy fan, you were after that.
Yeah,
You know,
well, that
you know,
happened in
was
Shark
just one of
Bay.
those-
There was no one in for the first half. We
Yeah.
were the only people watching the grand final. Then
Yeah.
they started dribbling in for dinner, and then
Yeah.
the whole pub was going off. It was something special.
My second is Sticky,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ricky Stewart. I first saw him play, would have been probably early 90s around there, the time when he was Canberra. But he just controlled the game. He moved you around. He did what a good half does.
Until
you
he
know?
broke his leg.
Yeah, and then he was a great talker. You know, great thinker. He still is a great thinker about the game. And I just like the way he's an old-fashioned type of player for me.
I love
So
his passion.
Yeah, I love his passion for the game. I really love his passion for the game. I love his comments in post-match interviews. You know, he sort of bites his lip. If I say too much, I'm going to get fined.
He
and that
collects
sort of
fines
thing.
like Ella collects
Yeah,
speeding fines.
absolutely. Yeah. And my last pick is a player I watched play for New Zealand when I worked at the RFL, Stacey Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stacey Jones.
He was good, Stacey Jones.
He was quality.
He was good, yeah.
He just had he had that bro ability to make things happen out of nothing.
He was quality, Stacey Jones.
You know, he was World Player of the Year, I think, in 2002.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy as well. I've been lucky enough to meet a few of the players, as you guys have. And he just come across as a real nice guy. His book's really a really great read. It's up on my bookshelf in my library. Yeah, that's my three.
There's some good ones there. I've got 2 Aussies and a Pom.
Oh, of
Of course, there's always a pond.
I know.
There's always a
I
pond.
went looking for a
You're
pun. and I
outnumbered here, Dale.
just couldn't.
Oh.
I don't know. I just
I've got
couldn't think
one.
of.
So Andy Gregory.
Okay.
So Andy Gregory was he played over here, played the UK,
Yeah.
Wigan, Widnes, Leeds.
Yep.
Right. He was like a barrel on legs. They used to call him Michelin man. He was like a barrel on legs.
Yes.
But mate, he was good on his feet. He had great hands.
Sounds like Piggy Riddell.
Yeah, probably that kind of body shape. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
really good. And I remember as a kid, my first playing kit I ever got bought by my parents was Andy Gregory, number 7 at back Wigan shirt. I've always remembered that. He was great footballer. He was really good. So
He turned up for judiciary at Red Hall at RFL one year. It must have come off straight off the training ground because you normally turn up for judiciary in a suit and tie. He turned up in a shabby pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and a couple of the guys, ex-Wigan guys at the RFL, had to go out and say, "Mate, you can't turn up like this."
on the field as a magician, off the field he had a lot of problems since footy and what have you. A lot of things have been written in the press about
You had a
him.
pub or something?
He had a pub. He is a pub.
He is a pub.
Like, he's had a tough life. On the footy's been tough for
Sounds a
him.
bit like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm baby face assassin. Got
Got a pub.
But he's
He's a pub.
But he's had a tough life after footy.
Yes, yeah.
He's tried coaching, didn't survive long at that because he couldn't stay straight. He's coached amateur football in the UK, but as a footballer, he was outstanding. Great.
Yeah.
2 more for me. Alan Langer, for me. He was awesome, Alan Langer. It's funny I picked Queenslanders, but he was quality. He was really good.
Queenslanders sent the SOS to grab him one year, didn't they?
Thanks for taking my story. Cheers, mate. So I'm jogging along nicely. So yeah, that was it. So yeah, obviously when Wayne Bennett got on the phone, he was at Warrington, had been over there 2 years, hadn't played Origin for a couple of years, mate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mate, we're in trouble here, we're down, we've got to win this game. Come along,
brought
and
him home, didn't they?
and he scored a try.
Yeah.
And he rolled back the years, I think he was like 34, 35. Thirdly, you can throw him in there and see what falls down. Thurston for me, right? And we talk Andy Green being a great footballer on the field. Thurston's also an outstanding person off the field.
Off the field, yeah.
So, like, I'm going for like from personal experience where I've seen him doing over the years. Like, I remember we had a super clinic at NIB where we had a pre-season game between the Cowboys and the Dragons.
Yep.
And we had 400 kids on the over with all this training, and we had to bring them back. So the 2 teams got together in the changing rooms, and we lined all these tables on the changing rooms, and every player lined so your kid got a post, you walked, every player would sign your post on the way through. Both teams sat together. It was amazing. Mungo, what's his name? Used to play at Dragons.
Yeah,
what's his name? They call him Mungo. Far out.
No, he lost me.
I've ruined this now because I can't tell the story. Anyway, so he, James Howard.
That's
Oh, okay.
So anyway, he turned his back on these kids. Oh, it's hot in here, it's 40 degrees, there's no work on.
Really?
Get me out of here. Now, he was playing with the Dragons at the time. I've walked in, and the next thing, Thurston's got him. He's like, he goes, mate, he goes, you're here for 30 minutes. He goes, these guys are funding our whole trip and everything for us. He goes, we're here because of them. The least you can do is turn around, sign the picture, or get out, one of the two. This is to an opponent's team.
Yeah.
Wow. He turned around, he sat down, he just sat there. That's the power that Thurston had. It was awesome to see. So he's just a genuinely nice guy away from footy, you know what I mean? So, yep, Thurston for me. So that's my 3.
No. Awesome, mate. There's some good choices there.
We've got a good side coming together.
Yeah. Certainly have.
That's every week as well.
Yeah.
Right, weekend NRL preview this weekend. Before we go there, let's talk about our results last week.
Do you want to?
Yeah, Brett. Brett wasn't the worst last week. So the barman. So who was last week's barman? Reece Potter. Got 1.
Really?
Are you serious?
He picked the Penny Panthers. That was it. He got 1.
Are you for real?
Potter, come on.
Oh.
Tell you what, mate.
Good work, Reece.
Keep them coming
You're doing
because
really good.
tipping's not your thing.
Alright. I'll keep the bar one going.
Dicko, he got 5 last week, which was good. I got 5, surprisingly enough. You got 2, so you did slightly better than Reece.
Bit better.
So, but after after 4 rounds, the barman's on 11. You're on 15. I'm on 18, but the combined, it's a combined team, don't forget, because Pete's on and off like hot water. They're on 20, so they're going right so far.
Good work.
Yeah, it's good. I did that because I know the production team haven't thought any of this stuff.
You're looking very prepared there, mate.
Oh, absolutely.
I was late night last
Do
night.
me out
I
of a
was up
job.
till 1 o'clock last night doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Busy night. Righto, tomorrow night, game 1 is 5:50 down in Canberra. Raiders versus Rabbitohs. Raiders, I said last week, could they go 3-0? And you all went, oh, they can't go 3-0.
They did.
They went 3-0, big time.
They're going to go 4-0 too.
Yeah, I reckon.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think Rabbitohs. I'm a Rabbitohs fan, but I just think you've got too many players out. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, who's out?
Well, Mitchell's out, and he's bringing some other players in.
You look what
I'm not sure. I
Rabbitohs
don't
did
think.
to the
I don't think.
Titans. The comeback to the Titans was something special.
I just can't see the Raiders going 4.
Papali's been
he's
been rested, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think Ricky was saying he actually come out in a statement saying he wanted the old Papali
Yeah,
back.
we're missing him. We need him back. Going on a week down in.
It's a tough call. I don't know. Down there, not a nice place to go to. Pretty intimidating, you know, from a fan point of view, with the Viking clap and everything else. I'd like to say Brummies, but I just got a feeling it's Raiders.
All right.
My son's asking me why, but it's just this season has just been some strange results. And
Oh, it certainly has.
I just think, I don't know.
Pete's going to go to Raiders, eh?
I'm going to look. Well, I'm looking after my mate Pete, Pistol Pete, down in Mandurah as well. So
Someone has to back me.
Yeah.
somebody's got to look after
So
me.
you're going to start using saying like, so
No,
our team, we did this, we did that. So that's what you
Yeah,
guys
it's
do.
not.
No, I don't know. I just there's a niggling thing. I just don't know. I just think Raiders won't go 4.
Heather?
Oh, I just think the wheels have fallen off the Raiders, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. I hope they come back, but yeah, I don't know. They're just I don't know. The spark isn't there
Not
at the
clicking at
minute.
the moment, is it?
Nah, so I've gone Rabbits by 10.
By 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Rabbits. Rattle.
Maccas.
Maccas.
Maggers. Big Mac quarterback. We're no way affiliated with this show at all. But if you want to, please get in touch
Exactly,
with us.
get involved. Rabbits. Rabbits for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rabbits. Can't back into your own team, can you?
No.
Also,
Although
You just did.
AJ did a couple of weeks ago and it worked. So I don't know. There's a little doubt in my mind. Rabbits aren't the real deal
You're
yet.
sitting on the fence here, Pete.
Yeah. Yeah.
don't be far upsetting.
No, they're just
right.
They're just not the real deal. So yeah.
Friday night, 4 o'clock. Storm versus Sharks. I think this is pretty straightforward. Really, for me.
Storm.
Storm.
Stormers.
Yeah, Storm.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Good team to watch.
Yeah, they're playing. I hate the Storm. They're playing the footy.
They do play some great football. I'm not a big fan, but they do play some. You know, they know how to play when they want to play. They can grind you out. They've got all the tricks in the bag. You know.
Queensland Derby.
Derby.
Oh, he's been here too
Derby,
long.
derby.
The Queensland Derby.
Derby.
It's a derby, mate.
Derby.
You're in
This
it.
is
You're
an
in.
this is
you're
an
in Perth.
interesting one. 'Cause
Oh, both teams will turn up for this one.
yeah,
They
I
normally
think so. Yeah.
They normally do.
Even though the Titans got beaten last week, Titans have shown enough this season to be able to mix it with the best. And Broncos are going through that.
They were
Trouble
horrible
season.
last week in Darwin.
Yeah.
I
Did you
was
see the
hot.
conditions?
Yeah, we were same with both teams.
My God.
Oh, that's right. It's the same for both
Yeah.
teams.
Hey,
so, yeah.
my mates, the Eels, the perennial underperformers, they smashed them. Yeah, I'm on the Titans.
I'll go Titans.
I'm on the Titans, but it's going to be close. It's going to be 1 or 2 points.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big spread. No.
Bronx for me by drop goal.
The Shetlands.
By drop goal.
The Shetland ponies. Here's Sugar Cube.
Shetland new and winner by 1. Drop goal. Heard it here first.
Heard it here first, off the bench. Panthers, Seagulls. Seagulls up that last week.
But can Panthers go?
What are they doing?
Panthers are a good side.
Oh, they're
the best
amazing.
side.
Tommy Turbo has just added another dimension to them.
But
My God.
Seagulls,
He just added that extra worry for the defence, Tommy has. And
Are they going to forget all the Panthers though?
no.
I don't think so.
Panthers.
Come
They'll-
close.
They'll come crashing back.
Come
there.
close, but
No, the Panthers, juggernaut, will keep rolling.
Panthers.
yeah,
Yeah, Panthers for
Panthers.
me.
Pete.
yeah, I got Panthers.
Panthers. Right on. Bulldogs versus the Eels.
It was great to see the Dogs win.
Yeah.
How good was it?
It was a good game. We were screaming.
Baz
in our
had a
house.
tear in his eye.
Poor Baz. I was just about crying. Poor Baz.
The neighbours were
Good to
hearing
see.
us too. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
screaming. It was a good game.
It was awesome to see. I just want to hang
good
on.
game.
Those last 2
I'm
minutes.
happy for Johnny
yeah.
Leader as well and my brother because they're always in the dumps.
Yeah,
so.
Mark Billsborough too, and his boy
Yeah.
Cooper.
Yeah,
They're all.
yeah. But they
It's
got
been a
a,
tough.
To be honest, I can't talk.
they
no
got
one shows me compassion.
a long rebuilding program.
Next year's
Next
looking
year,
good.
next year will be different. Yeah, but this year I think it's got to sit it out.
Let's come back this year.
Whatever they can.
Let's get on this year. Bulldogs, Eels.
Heels.
I think a Dogs an upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tigers turn up one week and not the other, but I think the Dogs have just shown themselves what they can do, and I reckon they'll show up.
Okay.
Eels for me
I'm Eels. Yeah.
by lots. 22. Sorry to say.
All the friends of the club, and you're just destroying their
No.
dreams.
Eels are about
They don't
4
give a
years in
crap
front
about
of
my
where
teams.
Dogs need to be.
4 years.
Maybe
Man,
not.
I've had 10 years to get it right. And he's still not got it right.
Yeah, true.
God, I want
You
to
love
smack
that
him
after, don't you?
sometimes.
No. What did he do to you? Run over your cat or
Nothing to
something?
me.
Oh.
Nothing to me. No, I just don't. I just think
He's just such a miserable bugger.
he's just miserable, don't smile, and like.
Oh.
Yeah,
You just think like.
same could be said of Wayne.
I've got some inside word there, and that's
But
pretty
you,
accurate.
you look at
Yeah.
how much money they've spent on players over the years, right? And they don't achieve nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
and
the
he still
great
gets a job.
underachievers. They're one of the biggest
Yeah.
clubs in Sydney, and they're the great
Right.
underachievers. Yeah.
Morris has spent nothing in the last 2 years and made the finals twice
Yes.
and gets punted.
Yeah.
Old mate sits in his office in the Ivory Tower going, well, we'll spend another couple of million this year, we're not going to do anything, but hey, we'll be right. Like, ah, yeah. Anyway, I'm going with the Eels.
Sack him after you though.
Should I?
Or should you?
You know what, we'll put the dogs straight Eels.
Oh, he can't
Dog,
use
you sit
mine.
the fence. You can't be a fence sitter.
Get a
Choose
phone
one.
call from Baz tomorrow.
You said Eels. You're going for Eels, mate. You've locked it in, Eddie.
The Eels. I don't think the Eels will win, I think dogs will win. Anyway.
Well, go for the dogs then.
No,
Oh my
because
gosh.
I don't want to put a black mark
Yeah.
against the team. I want them to keep winning. Do the right thing, man. Knights and Roosters. Knights are shot. Again,
Roosters. Got to be
Roosters
Roosters.
all day.
Oh, yep, definitely. Most
Sam
certainly.
Walker,
A lot of people.
off contract.
A lot of people sort of wrote the Roosters off in terms of finals.
Yeah.
But they've got some depth.
Oh, yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
The more games Sam Walker gets under his belt,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
the better he's going to get.
You do it
the
one
longer the
size.
season goes,
Yeah.
they get some players back as
Yeah,
well.
exactly.
So they'll be
Yeah.
strong finals.
Yeah, you two got.
Roosters
I'm going for
win.
Roosters.
Roosters.
Got 10.
Craig McGarrigle would never forgive me.
I don't think Teddy's playing, is he?
Nope, he's out.
He's out.
Mm.
I still think
They
Roosters.
reckon Swelly might get his debut. I haven't seen the team list actually today. Oh, is he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 games to go on Sunday. The Warriors versus versus the Cowboys. Don't make me worry.
It depends which team turns up, doesn't it?
Well, prior to us filming, you were telling me you're all over the Cowboys here.
I'm
weren't
all over the Cowboys, yeah, and I picked Drinkwater for man of the match.
Yeah.
He's going to have to play over his skin for an NRL contract next year, so.
you? All right.
I think Cows. I'll go for the Cowboys.
They're finally believing into
Yeah.
Toddy Payton's structures,
Yeah.
I think. And
Yeah.
Cowboys.
It's taken a while.
I'm going for the Warriors cuz by 6.
Cuz.
Just right in.
She's sit with the dog tonight. Cowboys.
Last
For me.
game.
Cowboys for you as well?
Yeah, it's up in. Where is it? I see him seen it a bit.
It's in
Central
Gosford.
Coast.
Gosford.
Yeah.
Cowboys don't travel that well, do they? Not travellers.
No, probably not. But I still think Cowboys.
You know what? We're going to go with the bloody Warriors.
You're going to go for the Warriors
Just so they
again?
lose.
Yeah, because you went last time with the Warriors and they blew you.
You're not making your mind up tonight, are you?
Oh, he's into something.
Struggling.
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 The pressure.
Lack of research.
Pressure. The hardest game's next.
Yes.
Dragons versus. Hey, anyway, they've been saved. They brought Robbie Farah back. He's now going to run water for us. They've been saved.
So he's going to run the Alfie Langer.
Oh, is he?
Run in here, run in there, get in here,
Yeah,
get in
yeah. There's going to be another half out there directing traffic, I
So
think.
I saw your comments on the weekend, you know, as the game was progressing and getting away from you. What's wrong there?
I think there's a lot wrong there.
Right.
Yeah, we can't attract footy players. We have a coach that's pretty hard nosed and down the line. And I
And if
think,
you don't buy into that, then,
yeah, I think Pete Williams hit the nail on the head that there's a lot of Islanders and Kiwis that don't buy into that sort of coaching. So and there's a lot of them there. So I think the broom needs to go through the place. I'm really critical on Luke Brooks now, $800,000 a year player, and he's just not producing. His fifth tackle options are absolutely woeful. Yeah, you need the forwards going forward to create options for the halves, but for a fifth tackle option to go dead with the ball in hand or not kick it, not go for that kick for a repeat set, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. Like I severely think that the Tigers reserve grade side could beat the Tigers right now.
Okay.
I really do. And they're flying.
Alright.
They are flying, that team.
Well, you've made my mind up. Then I'm going for Dragons.
Pete, Dragons. Hello?
Dragons
Big
by
red
8
team.
for me.
Yeah, let's go
I
for
do
the big
think it'll
red
be
team.
close, but
Well, I've just ragged my own team, but I'll go for the Tigers.
Of course you will.
You can't back against your own team, but
Oh,
I hope they have
no.
some improvement.
I'm on Tigers this week, you know
Yeah.
why? Because they can't keep being so shit.
No, they can't.
They can't. True.
oh, that's a kiss of death.
No, I seriously,
Yeah.
like, Maguire's done a bit. He's a good coach. Like, at some point, they just got to come.
Well,
good,
the
like.
thing is, they've changed this year. They've changed a third of their roster, and still that that mentality
So
in
you
the
bring
team.
in, so you bring in the minutes, so you brought in, and they're going to change. Like you always say, you're going to change a culture. You're going to bring in 2 or 3 players
Yep.
who lead that culture
Yeah.
change.
Yeah.
They're probably not the right kind of players.
Well,
They,
today
they thought Tam was that kind of player, but
No,
looks like he's just ready to get his pension.
Yeah,
He's
that's
just like,
right.
I've got 2 years to go. Get my pension. I'm out of here.
A bit of good news out of Tigers though. They signed young Jake Simpkin today for another 2 years, so
Yeah,
he's
okay.
signed until the end of 2024, and I think he could be a really good hooker going forward. So that's pretty exciting.
Which
That one.
brings us to our favourite part of the week.
Favourite part of the week.
Yeah.
Now, I promised today.
Not so promising multi.
I'm going to post it this week. This is the one to get on. This is Macca's multi. We'll not let you down. Your money's safe. You hear it here first. Macca, fire up. What do you got?
Well, the pressure is on each and every week, and I should shout out to Andrew Crane and get him to help me do this because man, he wins some money in multis, and I'm absolutely crap. But
No, you don't say it here. No, you're all right.
This week, I've got the Panthers into the Roosters into the Cowboys, or for wind, and Sam Walker anytime try scorer. On Sportsbet, that's paying $17.33. So
okay.
I think that is something that's achievable.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Why not?
Yeah.
Bang
Well,
$10 on it
You
and see
can
what
bank your
happens.
Roosters. You can bank your Panthers.
Cowboys are going to be.
Cowboys might be the iffy one if the Warriors turn up.
Roosters are playing nights.
Sam Walker
Yeah,
scored
chance.
last week,
Yeah.
so
So that's
Yeah.
enough for
he's
the
created
season.
enough to create
Yeah.
something for himself. What's that?
That's him for the season then.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Well,
Samu.
Panthers, Roosters, Sam Walker anytime try scorer, Cowboys to win,
Yeah.
Macca's multi. Do not miss it.
$17.33. So put $10 on that. It's $170.
Can
Yes.
someone please message our Facebook page and tell me, has anyone backed any of his multis this year? Or are you just wasting our time?
Well, I even forgot to back my own one last week, so lucky for me.
Confidence is best.
Keep your money in your pocket. Yeah.
Well, that's us for the night. Thanks, Heather Christie, our guest barman tonight. Done a
Yes.
decent job.
Decent.
A very outstanding job.
Very good job. Yeah.
Yep.
Football again.
Yep.
Pete Rowe stepped in, mate, off the bench. Well done, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
Macca, another good night.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Yeah, got through playing tonight. I think we might have ruffled a few feathers early in the night, which is
That's fine.
what it's all about.
Well, it's not to offend anyone. It's all to
Yeah,
put up ideas in it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Let's try and together make the
Yeah,
competition better.
exactly right.
Thought Macca was good, Shirt Manning was good. Good insight in the game, he got plenty to say. And after all, he did confirm Chris Dever dropped the NRL trophy in Meriden in 2008.
Well,
So I'm good with that.
Does he owe you something for that?
I just walked away, not my problem.
All right.
Hey, Dev. Anyway, all the best for this weekend's Anzac Clash.
Yes.
Yeah.
COVID been a strange all week. Everyone's been locked down for 3 days. Junior training suspended at Sharks this week. That's down to volume of numbers, end of the day.
Yeah.
Wise move.
Hopefully, the
Hopefully we're all back next week. Yeah.
Hopefully the Emperor, the Prime Minister,
Fuhrer.
the Premier. I get it right eventually. Hopefully the Premier of WA lifts us out of these restrictions on Saturday, and we move on and go.
Get this season underway, eh?
Yes, we need
Season
to.
away.
We
Yeah.
need to. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
talk more local footy.
Yes, we do.
Every week I get given like a bit of a closing thing every week.
Yes.
This week, obviously, Sharks life member and his wife celebrated the 40th wedding anniversary. So that's Derek and Evelyn Turnbull, my mother and father-in-law. So congratulations, Anzac
Well
Day wedding anniversary.
Oh, well.
To be honest, for Evelyn to stick around for that long with Derek, she deserves a medal.
You reckon you'll make it with Heather?
Oh, I gotta get through tonight first. And on that note, we'll see you next week off the bench. See you later.
Thanks, guys.